Have you ever seen the Holy Spirit? It's not a trick question. Have you? Now, within the Bible, the Holy Spirit is described as tongues of flames or a blowing breeze. And I think sometimes that's what makes it hard for us to preach on the Holy Spirit, is the fact that sometimes we find it very hard to describe the Holy Spirit because we don't know what it looks like, except that might not be true. In this week's reading, we get two very helpful clues that give us a pretty good picture of what the Holy Spirit is really like. Clue number one, it says the Holy Spirit looks like an advocate, the one who stands up for you when you need it, the one who speaks on your behalf, the one who lends a helping hand, takes your side and won't leave you when you're down. And clue number two, the Holy Spirit looks like Jesus. The Spirit is another advocate because Jesus is the first. The Spirit, Jesus goes on to say, will abide with us just as Jesus is the Word made flesh. The Spirit is sent in Jesus' name and reminds us of what he has taught. In a very real way, the Spirit mediates Jesus' presence and helps us to keep his promise that he will not leave us or orphan us, and he will always be with us. In summary, the Holy Spirit is an advocate that looks a lot like Jesus, which means that we've actually seen the Spirit a lot of times. Anything, in fact, are things that we might not realize, but it's this Holy Spirit working. Things like when someone stands up for another person, when someone shares their faith, anytime someone bears the love of Christ to another, we've seen the Holy Spirit. No wonder then that Jesus says, you know him, because as it turns out, the Holy Spirit at one time or another has probably looked a lot like you, and even a lot like me, and definitely a lot like all of us when we do those things that reflect the face of Christ. So, what would it be like if I told you the Holy Spirit looks like you? Look in the mirror. See that reflection? That is the person that Jesus wants to make a difference in the world. The person that reflects what Jesus has taught. Or what would it be like if you took a few moments right now and think about where you have seen the Holy Spirit in the world this week, either through the good you have been blessed to receive or experience, or what you have done for others, or things you've heard on the news that is happening in the world right now. These are all signs where the work and the presence of the Holy Spirit is in the world. The song Spirit of Life has always meant so much to me. It is a prayer to call the Spirit into your life. It is a chance to come to that quiet time and think about where the Spirit has worked in your life. It is an opportunity for you to think when the Spirit has held you close or has let you go and fly on your own accord. Most of all, it allows us to call upon Jesus through the Holy Spirit, his advocate, to be with us in all times and places of our lives. Today, I just want you to reflect in this time of uncertainty and questions that we are not alone, that God is with us, and that God is alive and well through the work of the Holy Spirit, and that God is alive in you. So today, keep thinking about the Holy Spirit and how the Holy Spirit is at work through you for all the world. Now that's pretty cool. That you, each of you out there, as a reflection of Jesus, alive in the world, doing the work of the Holy Spirit. Thanks so much for your faithful ministry. Because whether you know it or not, the Holy Spirit is not only working through you, but also looks a lot like each of you. Be prepared this week to be a witness for Jesus, because that's a very cool thing.